Let me show you how to go through the initial configuration on the Xiaomi 15T. So once you turn on your phone, what you can do is of course tap on this arrow in order to then proceed and choose the language that you want to use on your phone. And after that we're gonna go next. Over here, when we have the region selection, of course we can scroll down in order to find your region, or you can tap on the search field and you can simply type whichever region you want to set on your phone. Of course later on we can change both the language and the region in the phone settings. Once we go next, we need to go next over here. We need to scroll down on this list of terms and conditions or privacy policy, and then we need to select that we have read and agreed to them, and go next. We can set up our phone by using another device, so if you want to transfer as much as possible, then of course you can do that. Just over here choose whether you had an Android or an iPhone or iPad, and then you should be able to transfer everything, or most of the stuff at least. But if you want to perform a clean setup, then of course it is possible by tapping on this skip option in the bottom left corner. In my case, I have two SIM cards that I have inserted, so now I can quickly manage them. I can choose whichever SIM should be used for calls and which one should be used for mobile data. And then we can proceed by choosing next. And here we have the Wi-Fi network list. So of course we should be able to connect to our Wi-Fi network. But of course you can also try to skip this option if possible, of course. And if you tap on the network, then of course you will need to enter the password. Once you connect, we can go next, and then we need to wait for the next thing to pop up on our screen. Now you should be able to sign into your Google account, at least the first one. So if you want to, you can enter your credentials over here, go next, and then enter the password. Or if you want to create a new account, then of course you can do that as well. At the same time, if you prefer not to log into a Google account, then we have this skip option. In my case, I'm gonna sign in. Once we sign in, most likely you will have to choose if you will be using this device. So in my case, I just have to go next. And then we have to agree to Google Terms of Service. And then we need to wait again. Now here we can copy apps and data, and we can also load a backup from our Google account. So if you do have a backup saved on your Google account, then of course we can go next, and then you should be able to find your backups. In my case, I don't have any backups, so I can just simply choose don't copy in here. Next we have the password selection. So you can create a screen lock password over here. You can also set up a fingerprint sensor and also set up the face unlock feature by scanning your face data. And of course, if you want to, you can skip that as well just by using the skip button. Later on in the phone settings, you can easily set up the screen lock password or change it, and also do the same thing with the fingerprint and face unlock. Then we have Google services such as the location, which of course we can use or not if you want to. We also have allow scanning, which I actually recommend you disabling because we don't have to have this option enabled all the time. Then we have the phone number verification. I'm actually gonna disable this. We also have the usage and diagnostic data, which we can send to Google, but in that case we can also disable it. So of course you want to scroll through this list and decide by yourself if you want to agree to something or not. And then we're gonna go ahead and press accept. Then we have the backup options. So you can choose to back up your photos and videos and other device data that is listed over here to your Google account. You can also uncheck any of these boxes in order to not include something, and then you can tap on turn on backup. But if you don't want to create any backups, then of course we can choose don't backup instead. And we are pretty much done. At this point you can leave and get reminder about continuing the setup if you don't want to proceed, and you can just immediately go to the home screen pretty much. But in my case, I'm going to show you what is next. So I'm going to tap on continue. And then in here we have the quick share. So if you scroll down, you can agree to use the quick share. I'm going to actually agree. Then over here we have the information about Gemini. So we have to tap on continue. And then if you want to, you can set up the Hey Google voice recognition. So if you want to, you can activate Gemini by saying Hey Google out loud. If you want to do that, you can set it up by tapping on turn on. Otherwise, you can just simply tap on no thanks. You can also set up your payment card and use your phone in order to pay with it, and by adding your credit or debit card to Google Pay or Google Wallet. So if you want to do that, you can press add a card. If not, then later on you can just simply use the Google Wallet app in the app drawer, and you can easily set it up as well. In my case, I'm gonna skip. I don't really need to do that right now. We also have additional options that we can personalize right here, but we can of course once again find them in settings, and I just think they are not as important right now, so I'm just gonna tap on no thanks. And now let's wait one more time. There we go, we have some additional settings again, like the location one more time, automatic system updates, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna actually turn off some of these stuff. You probably want to go through this list and decide once again by yourself which things you don't mind to have enabled and which should be deactivated. And let's go next. We have the font selection, so you can choose either the default font or the MI Sans font. I'm gonna stick with the default one. Here we have the default launcher. The classic one allows you to just have the home screen and every app will be in the home screen. I personally, of course, prefer the app drawer, so we can swipe up on the home screen in order to open the apps list. There we go. And we have the navigation mode, so if you want to, you can use gestures in order to navigate on your phone. You can also tap on learn navigation gestures if you don't know how to use them. And of course, we can also switch to buttons as well, if you prefer to use 3 buttons at the bottom of the screen. And there we go, now we just have to wait a little bit more, and soon we should be able to see the home screen, I believe. And there we go, now we can tap on continue, and we should see the home screen right after that. And that is pretty much it. Now you can do pretty much whatever you want on your phone. Thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe.